Lorenzo Paganelli, that is the technician of the TechLab platform. He also helped us with the website of the Manfrediana Library and on their website from the Unione della Romagna Faentina. And we are a little bit proud because we worked a lot with Lorenzo also for the general design for the tech library. And as you know, we have two main parts, part visible for the general public and the other part only for the partners. So Lorenzo can tell us something about this part that is the difficult part, but not so difficult. And you have to know that Lorenzo is always able for us to help us in every part of the charge of the trainings.
It's up to Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, it's up to you. Feel free to ask everything. If there are any doubts, we are here.
Okay, so I'm going to give you an overall introduction of all the different parts that we have decided for this platform, for this website. First of all, this is the homepage of this project. So we start with an explanation of what this project is about. So why this project is born, and what are the scope. So we start with an introduction. We find with the three main objectives of the project. And we have a call to action for that links us to the project page. The second page is the project. So I divided the document of that you have developed for present this project, and I divided it for making it easier to focus on the different aspects.
So the project page presents the three main objectives, and after that there is some information about the context of the project, and still you can see there is for making the website fast in loading, and we avoided a large use of images, so we are just I've just played a bit with different sides of text for emphasizing different aspects of the text. And so there are the context, the opportunities, and the expected results. What you expect, you can expect as an outcome for this project. The page closed with a call to action for someone who does not know the project. There is a call to action there. So some question: are you interested in the project, or just want to give feedback about the project? You can skip and go to the contact page. And there is the last static page, so we can arrive it immediately. If you want to contact the Tech Library project, these are the main emails. So for general information, there is info@techlibrary.eu, the project coordinator, Biblioteca Manfrediana. For the list for contacting one of the partner, on the partners page, as you have already seen, there is always the link, so you can just click on it and arrive to the contact information. We wanted to avoid to expose a large number of emails all around the website. And for whatever kind of feedback about the website, or login issues, or whatever kind of issue that you can find during the use of this website, you can write to this mail. It's my email that I've created for this project. So webmaster@techlibrary.eu, and you can just click on it, and it will open your email client, or you can just copy and paste it whatever you want. So this is an overall view of all the three main pages that are static. So probably these contents will not be updated very often. But now we are going to look at the main pages that are the more active one. So the activities and events, it's sort of a blog or a news section that you will use for posting updates about the development of this project. You can already see some of the articles that me with Biblioteca Manfrediana have already uploaded. So there are an overall view with the latest six posts, and you can navigate on the bottom to the next page. And okay, there are 7 articles right now, and when you click on the read more button, you can of course read more, and so you will find a classical article. So you have a title, a featured image, the author, and of course all the text inside the article. I don't know if you if some of you are already used WordPress as a CMS. It's a sort of standard, an official standard for the creating of websites, and it's a very easy to use and streamlined dashboard for admins and the management of contents. And I will show you in 5 minutes how to upload a new post, and so how it's possible to publish on this website. So these for what's about activities and events. Blog post with I recommend using at least an image for creating a bit of movement on the website. This area could be interested. Could be more interesting with some images. The only recommendation for being compliant with the WCAG standards about accessibility, it's to provide an alternative text to the image. So if someone using a screen reader try to read this page, can find not just image number 01.jpg, but a description. The alternative text is a short description of what is inside the image. The WordPress CMS gives the possibility of customize and create this text. So my advice is just to remember that, and remember how to describe what happened in this image. So if someone who is using a screen reader reads this page, found some information as well. The last public part of the Tech Library website are the tool section, so this page, and this is the most important and interesting, probably in my own opinion, area of the website, where you can find informations and you can share information to the others. We have provided you with a search tool where you can just type keywords and find if something is on the website, but also you can browse the tools by category. So we have created these 5 categories, but if you will need more in the future, we can add more category boxes or collapse some. So if books and manuals in the future you see that they are the same thing, we can decide to merge them for avoiding disorder. But this is the core of the tools category. So we have divided in best practice, books, ICT tools, hardware and software, and the manuals. When you click on the title, you will get to a page that lists all the articles published in this category. And if you already from the title want to decide to read a particular article, you can just click on it and you enter into the page. On the sidebar, you will always find the boxes that can guide you through the tool section. So still the best practice, books, ICT tools, and stuff, and always a button for coming back to the main tool page. You can upload PDF, you can upload files, zip, docs, PowerPoints and stuff. I don't remember the file, the limit of the file size at the moment. Sorry, but I suggest to keep it under 10 mega file for not bloating the server. If you have some specific request for uploading large files, you can write me an email and we can find a solution. Also, like for the activity and events post type, you will have a title, you will have a content that could be a text, a video, something with a link that open a PDF and stuff like that. If you are a registered user, so if you can navigate this site, also if you are you can navigate this area also if you are not a registered user. So this is public to everyone, so just remember that this is accessible to everyone on the internet. If there is a short reminder that if you are a registered user, you can upload materials through the login page. So there is this short link that will bring you to the WP-admin, so the administration area of WordPress. There are any questions so far? Everything is clear? Some doubts? Okay.
Thank you, Lorenzo. We asked, and nobody has any question by now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too.
And then the training part.
Hmm?
The last one.
Yes, we are going to the training part. So the training part, it's you can browse this page only if you are a registered user. So at the end of this meeting, I'll ask you to write me your email, one for a partner, and I will create an user tied to that email, and you will use this email and this user for accessing this page. If you are not a registered user, this is what you are going to see. So now I'm in anonymous mode. So I'm trying to all the rest. All other parts of the website are still active, and I can browse through it and browse through the tools, see the contacts and stuff. The training, there is a disclaimer. So the training area is available only to registered partners and users. So if you want to add another users, some users or some partners, if you think that could be interesting for them, it's not a problem. Just send me another email and I will create the account for them. Yes, write us an email. We'll send you the login information, and of course the link reminds return to the contacts page. So for feedback and login issues, you can find here my email. So this for the non-logged in users. When you are on the training as a logged user, you can find a lot of material published at the moment just by Biblioteca Manfrediana. So we have a title. They are still very similar to the articles of the activities and events or the tools, but there are listed as more per page, and if you want, you can also add an image, a featured image for giving a preview of what is inside this training area. If you click on the read more, you are inside the page. It's similar to the tools, but as I've already said, this is private, and you will find the title. You can add the descriptions, text, links, and stuff. At the moment, you find in this case an embed of a YouTube video. And on the sidebar, still you can skip and go to another post. The YouTube videos could also be not public videos. So if on YouTube, you have three choices of publishing a video. It could be published for everyone, could be private, or could be accessible only to whoever has the link. So if you publish a video with the check on whoever has the link, you can use it for embed on this website. This part is private, so no one can see it without the direct link and the login page. Okay, so all this page, we have there are mostly about videos and stuff. So if you don't have any other questions, I can show you the backend, so the administration area of the website, and I can show you how to publish a post in the different sections of the website.
No, Lorenzo, you can go on.
Okay. So, as I was saying before, if you are already have you already tried WordPress? We haven't made any modification on the backend, so you will find it pretty at home. So, if you don't remember the login page, you can always go to the tool page and find a link to the login page, but it's the standard for every kind of WordPress. The link is standard for every kind of WordPress installation. So it's tech-library.eu/wp-admin. So this is it's standard. Usually you will find this, sorry. Okay. So, okay, this is how it presents on the first time. And you will receive an automatic email, so check your spam eventually for setting the password. But remember that if you happen to you to lost your password, you don't have to write to me, but there is always a link on the login page. Lost your password, you just have to put in the email address again, and it will send you an automatic email for resetting your password. So this is the admin side of WordPress of our website. Actually, your dashboard will be more clean and with a lot less panels on this side. Maybe I can switch profile. So this is okay. Okay, this is more what you will see on the back end. Of course, if you have already accustomed to WordPress, I can create much higher profile. This is the author profile. So as you can see, you have less fuss on the left on the main dashboard menu. But in this way, you can only have access to to the posts that are the main part of the website, and you you can avoid making mistakes. But of course, if you want more power, I can give you more power and responsibilities. Jokes apart, so this is the main dashboard. You can rearrange as you prefer, depending also of your screen size, and you can declutter it with the screen options on the top right part of the screen. So there is this drop-down menu where you can decide to show or not show some of the screen elements. So I will just hide some news about WordPress and stuff, and so I can have just this recap part. So how many pages are on the website, how many posts has been published, what are the recent activities, so the recently published post, and you can also create a quick draft if you want to just take notes, you can use this box for creating the draft of a new article. On the left, you can find the three most important menus of your of the WordPress dashboard. So the post, the media, and your profile options. On the media, and there are also comments, but we have decided to disable it on this website for avoiding GDPR compliance about storing cookies, logging users and stuff. So this part will be always empty. The core of Tech Library will be will be through the media and through the post. On the media, you can find the library of all the already uploaded files on the website. So you can find images, some free to use stock images like of books, bookshelves, computers, and stuff, if you want to emphasize something on the website. And of course, you can upload your files in this section. But you can also upload files directly while creating a post. So on this part of the screen, you can browse through the posts, and the post you will always find this list, this database list style. Where you can find the title, the featured image, if there is any, the author, so you can always know who has created this post, and in which categories the post is into. As you can see from this general overview, the division that we find in the menu, so about activities and events, tools, and training, it's all filtered by using categories. So a post published in the training category will be shown in the private area. A post published in the best practice or activities and event will show in the relative area. How to create a new post? You find a button or a menu element that says Add New. So let's see. It's a classic WordPress user interface. So we have the title, the body of the text, as the main part of the screen. And on the right sidebar, we find the publish option. So we can always save a draft and also preview the post before publishing. You can decide also when to publish something. So you can also schedule a post for a certain date, or make a post as been published in the past, but just changing the date. The default settings is publish immediately. So you just hit the publish button and you are online. You find also format, the categories, and a lot of other stuff that you can, for the sake of the recording, just if you want to have a second look, I will always pass from the screen options and disable some of the FAS that is in this area. So I will disable the format, the tags, the featured image. I will keep just the number 1 and disable the 4, the 5, and the infos. And also the Avada page options, that is the theme options that we have used for developing the the website that you should not use. So this is the customized add new post section. So with all this stuff disabled, you after the first time you will always find the same set. So these the screen options are to be set just the first time, and after every time you will log in, you will always find this this set. Denise sent me some images. What title should we give to this post?
We can use training in Rijeka.
Training
In R I J E K A.
Perfetto. Okay, sorry. Thank you for the spelling. Okay, so this will be the title of our post, and this is the main body of the article. So we can. I have some lorem ipsum just for filling it with some dummy text. Some fake Latin always works well. So this is an editor very similar to Microsoft Word or something like that. So you can have the bold, the italic. You just have to select the text and stuff like that. Of course, we have unordered list and similar options. For more setup, for more instruments, this button, the toolbar toggle, shows another line of tools, and similar to the screen options. It will remember if you have already pushed it, so you can always keep it pushed, and you will have the strike through, the paste of text, the clear formatting, or the indent of the text. We can already see a preview of what we have done. So I can hit the preview button, a new tab will appear, and of course there is just the title and our text. We have some photos, so we can upload them with the Add Media button. Let's see how it works, if there are no questions so far. Everything clear?
So somebody asking, if you want to add a video, you have to plug it or?
Yes, let's put a video on it. Okay, so I am on the Biblioteca Manfrediana YouTube channel. So, any favorite, or just pick someone reading Dante?
Lorenzo is the first one with Benedetta.
Of
up there.
course. Okay. So let's how to embed this video in WordPress is actually pretty easy. You just have to copy the URL as in the top bar of your browser. So I'm just hit Command C. And where I want the video, I'm going to paste it. As you can see, WordPress automatically recognizes it as a video and embed it in the maximum size. And if we hit the preview button, here we are with the embedded video automatically inside the blog post. If you want instead to create a link, you can select the words, the word of the words that you want to be the link, and you will find the chain icon on the first row of instruments. So we find this insert / edit link, and on the selected words it will appear this this modal, and so I can still copy the link and as you can see, paste URL, and I can hit apply. If I go to the preview, here we are with the link. There are just one option that I want to introduce you about links, and it's after you have created the link, you can click, of course, you can remove it. So if by error or by accident you want to change it or just remove it, you can hit the remove link button. You can click on the edit, and you can change the URL directly here, or you can open the little gear icon that will open the link options. One important thing, it's to flag the open link in a new tab checkbox. This is very important because if you link something that is outside our platform, it's for the users, it's easier to understand that they are going to another website. If you forget it, it's not a problem. But in this way, if you make this setting, the link will open in another tab, in another window of the browser. So we are keeping the user in both. The user is still on our website. This is a best practice of creating links on a website. If you are going to link something that is on your website, you use an internal link. If something is outside your website, you want to open it in a new tab. You just hit the update button, and here we are. The most important thing after creating a post is to decide in which category do we want it to appear. So on the right, you can find the various categories of the website. and depending on what this post will show up. In this case, it's an activities and an event, so I will put it in this category. I think that we can try publishing it. So if you are browsing the website with your smartphone, you can navigate, and here we are. So let's start from the home. Okay, so we have put this training in Rijeka in activities and events. So activities and events, and here we are with our read more. So training, publishing on by Autore. This is just created this user, and here is our post. As you can see, we forgot to put a featured image. So let's upload one right now. On this.
Sorry. We can try also to upload the photo that Denise sent to you.
Yes. Let's start with one photo, and after we will create a gallery. First of all, the featured image, and we want one photo. As you can see, you can upload both horizontal and vertical pictures, and also we have created this layout that moves according to the different heights. So you can we have not set an ideal pixel size for height and width. So whatever photos you want to use, it will just going well. So set featured image, it will open this modal window, and as you can see, we have two tabs. We can upload a new file. Okay, maximum upload file size, we have 16 megabytes, so pretty big files actually. Or you can also choose from the media library. So upload files, you can upload new files, and if you switch on media library, you can choose from another image that has been already uploaded to the website. Let's upload a new featured image. So let's choose. Okay. Maybe the first. Okay, there are all of you. So I can push the open button. The picture will be uploaded. As I've told you before, the most important part for accessibility is providing an alt text, an alternative text that describes the image. So for this, you can always change it or add it or modify it later. Let's see, there are people in a room attending a conference. Could be something you want to a short phrase that describe what the image is about. The title is not showed in on the website, so you can also keep the default title, like in this case WhatsApp image and stuff like that. Set I choose so the email. You can see the email. I choose the image. You can see from the flag, and I hit the set featured image button. So I see the image right there, and I click update. And now if I go to activities and events and refresh the page. Here you are. Training in Rijeka by author, that's me. And if you hit the read more button, now you can also find the image right there. Let's add some more pictures to this post. Let's say that I want to close with an image gallery, and I can also create a title. So I can some images from the meeting, not form, but from the meeting. And I can change the style with this drop-down menu. So some images from the meeting, I will choose this. Is not a heading one because it's not the main important title, but could be a heading 2. And let's see what happens. I'm going to a new line, and I use this time the Add Media button. From the Add Media, the model is similar to before, so you can find the media library, you can upload files, but the function, so if you want to add a single file, we can, so a single image, we can choose an image, we can upload a new image, you can just drop files to upload. But in this case, we are going to create a gallery. So we want to use more than one image. So first off, before adding new images, I select Create Gallery. It's the same thing, but okay. So request. I want to avoid. Okay, this is the one that we already uploaded. So okay, drop files. It will take sometimes, but not so much. And here we are. So as you can see, you have a thumbnail, a preview of the picture, and you can decide to add more images or remove some of the images. So like this one is a duplicate, so I can go on the check mark and disable it. And so I always have a recap on the bottom with 9 items selected. And okay, of course, for every image, now I should add an alt text. It could also be, depending on the image, something that I reuse from time to time. But for the moment, I will just hit the Create a New Gallery button. And here you can drag and drop for reordering the media files. Okay, I can also find some new duplicates, so maybe these. Okay. I can rearrange M, so we can dispose in whatever order we want, and also add something new to the gallery. And we can choose the columns for the display. The default is 3 columns. Let's see what happened, and also the size of the image in the preview. I'll try with medium, but I can also change later. Let's click Insert Gallery, and here we are with our gallery. if I click somewhere inside the gallery, as you can see, there is this boundary box, the blue boundary box. I can remove the whole gallery or I can edit it. So if I click, this model page, model window show up again. I click the update and going back to the post. If you don't see the change immediately, try empty your cache of your browser, but usually just using the refresh button of your browser should trigger the new thing. So, okay, as you can see, we have the images on the page. I wanted to open not the action file, media file, sorry, just checking a thing. Okay. So in this way, sorry, so for who is taking notes, the right gallery settings is linked to media file. We will wood setting will trigger an a lightbox, so you can enlarge the and see my face even bigger. Oh my gosh! Okay, with the inside the page. And okay, I see that there are the titles showing up, but as I was saying before, I don't want to appear, so I will disable, I will hide it. But of course, if you prefer keeping it, no problem for me. Just remember that it has to be meaningful, because instead the WhatsApp images, etc., it's not the best things to see. So if I will try, in my opinion, I will hide it. But if you find it useful, it's fine. It's fine for me. If this post instead is not an activities but is a book, so is a text about, it's something about a book, I can update it and change the categories. So I will not find it anymore inside the activities and events section, but instead I will find it inside the tools. So when I will browse tools by category, I will find training in Rijeka inside the books. So as you can see, the content has been rearranged for matching the style of the tool sections. So now you have no author, no date, and but the content is all still here. Of course, the same things go for whatever categories you will choose. Remember that the training one, it's hidden from the public. So now we have the same post, but moved from section to section. So it always depends on what kind of article are you writing. Remember to choose the right category. If you forget to put an article into a category, it will go inside the uncategorized posts that are not showed anywhere. So if you have created a new post and discover that it's not visible anywhere in the website, check the categories, because probably you have forgot to flag, and so WordPress by default set these as uncategorized. right now, however, I restored the post in activities and events. So training in Rijeka is right here. There are any questions? Do you want to explore some? Well, actually, it's when you are in the post sections, you can filter it by date, by categories, and also filter just the one that you have published. So now I'm logged in as author, and so mine will show or mine post.